welcome back for another video. I recently went on a walk and talk, one of our typical walks with my wife, and she is someone who doesn't know much about firearms. She doesn't know much about less lethals, but she has some opinions and thoughts, and I thought it's good to make a video where we talk about some of the issues that might arise with a novice, and I found it very informative. So let me show you the video and then we'll come back and talk about it. Yeah, the long one has a laser pointer to help you aim, so you don't have to actually look through a sight. You can put the laser on target. But you shot both of them. I know you like the TCP better, but
I like the long one too. I don't have to close one eyes to aim.
Yeah, that's true. So, which one hits harder? Which one is gonna hurt more?
I'm not.
Yeah, it actually depends. With the small one on the first shot, it can be almost as hard as the VKS but the VKS can do that on every shot consistently, and it can fire faster. The TCP, because it's a CO2 powered launcher, the CO2, yeah, you know the science.
Yeah.
What's the science? Air pressure drops, what happens?
So the pressure will be lower.
And then what happens to the temperature when the pressure drops?
Temperature drop too.
So it gets really ice cold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when that happens, because the pressure's low, you get less FPS on your shots. So at the end of the day, you have to slow down your shooting with that one. You can't shoot rapid fire, but with the VKS you can. So VKS would be my go-to. But if you're out and about like we are now, I don't think you can carry either one of them. That's why I think you have to use something like this. That's about all you can use. So you don't think you really need to hit a specific spot? You just need to instill some fear.
True. Or also some surprises.
Element of surprise?
Yeah. If they did not know coming, if somebody has something that can deter them.
So if you were shooting and somebody's coming, which would you rather have in your hand? The TCP, the little small one, or would you rather have the big heavy one? For you, at your size.
Well, I assume I can operate both machine easily, but I think the small one will be easier.
Yeah. You have more experience shooting the small one, right?
Yes, I practice a few more times with the small one.
So you think practice is extremely important with these? And do you think you have to be very accurate, or you just need to land somewhere? What do you think?
Well, I think accurate is important. But if they don't know how to get everything set up and get ready.
So what if they just grab a pillow and put it in front of their chest and start charging at you? You think you can stop them with one of these, or what if you clip them in the knee?
That'll work too, but
What do you think?
it also depends that guy whether it's tough or not. They can still charge you even they are hit.
So is it really going to be effective in your opinion? Am I spending my time optimizing these, getting them ready? They still have to be charged with air. They're not. You don't just pick them up, point, shoot.
Yeah. It also depends on the person trying to attack you.
That's true. So you have to make an initial judgment about, is this person armed? Does this person have a knife? Are they a lethal threat to me, or are they a non-lethal threat?
Well, you have no choice. Whoever
you don't have a lot of choice.
Coming to your house.
So a lot of issues, right?
Who's going to attack you?
Yeah, a lot of issues. A lot of things to think about with these less lethals. And
if you're lucky, you can protect yourself.
Okay.
get into
Luck.
somebody that I don't have a lot of.
What about preparation? Being prepared mentally.
Oh, that's important too.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be like freak out.
Yeah. You have to stay calm. You have to be fit. If you're out of shape and you need to run around and you need to try to then calm yourself enough to shoot accurately, that's not so easy to do when the adrenaline kicks in. So you need to be fit. You need to be mentally fit. You need to be physically fit. You need to be smart, making good judgments. A lot of things to consider if you're going to use less lethals. A lot of things to consider if you use lethals.
Yeah, even with lethal.
So self-defense is really a complicated topic. So sometimes it takes two heads. Two heads is better than one. That's why I got my wife talking with me today about this. She is clearly an expert, but I think sometimes we need to hear from those who don't think about this all the time like we do. So maybe we'll talk more in the future. So based on that conversation, there's a couple points that I think came up that were observations that, maybe we take for granted. First of all, she wasn't completely convinced that these had the stopping power they do. I think she's not overwhelmingly, convinced that the power is going to stop a very determined individual. Maybe it will. The other thing is, I don't think she's completely convinced that for her, as a novice and someone who's not as up to speed as maybe we are, that she can charge it and have it ready on a moment's notice. And I think that's where training comes in, obviously. But you need to be motivated, so it depends on her degree of motivation. That's where I think these differ from firearms. You can buy a firearm, put it in a drawer, or you can lock it up, but you can have it available. It can be loaded and ready to go, and it's a lot easier to pick up and use, right? But you don't have that luxury with the air power, because the air power has to be charged. And when you charge it, you have a risk of making a mistake and not having the full charge and having the air. You can have an air leak. You can have difficulty setting it up. Even if everything is reliable, a person who is not comfortable charging a TCP by turning the screw may not know how far to turn it, how quickly to turn it. They may lose air. They may get a very inefficient result. So there's a lot more training involved, and I think for individuals who have no desire for that training or want something that's turnkey off the shelf, these become problematic. Turnkey is great. They might work really reliably for a couple hundred rounds, but inevitably there will be complications, and the smallest of O-ring and the smallest issue can put it completely out of commission. And so you need backup plans and things like that. So I think those are the kind of things that I got from my conversation, and obviously there wasn't a lot there in addition to that, but I think just things to consider as we try to make these not only more available and abundant and have them as options, but we need to also figure out how do you reliably make them so that your significant other can use them in a reliable fashion. You can leave them, and if you're way out of town, you can feel comfortable that they can use that as for self-defense. We always set these up and we think only of ourselves and how we can handle it and what we're going to do. And maybe I even make that mistake because my build for VKS is obviously for me. I have long arms, I'm tall, I like that feel, and I like that intimidating look. I'm not a big fan of the shorties. They're great, and they have compact and in certain environments, and for certain folks they may be ideal for mobility and lightweight. For me, I have no problem with the larger build. But for my wife, completely different story. So that's very important to consider who's using the weapon. Is this for your whole family or is it just for you? So a lot of things to think about. Maybe I can expand on those in the future, in future videos, as I think about this a little more deeply. But we should keep in mind that we're not just building these for ourselves. Ideally, we need our whole family to be able to use them whenever they need to. So it's a bigger issue than just suiting our personal need.